This episode is for you. If you're feeling a little trapped or you're feeling you're getting less than you deserve in life, and if you're with one of those chronically difficult, relentlessly difficult, toxic people that I call hijackals, that's probably true. So I want to give you some things today that will allow you to see more clearly and to get out from behind the window you're looking at life through and wishing you could get out there and play fully and freely. So stay tuned. Welcome to Save Your Sanity podcast. I'm Dr. Rhoberta Shaler. Are you living with the chaos, confusion, and uncertainty that a toxic person loves to create? Is a partner, parent, ex, sibling, child, or coworker causing you to second-guess yourself? That can be crazy-making. I'm here to help you save your sanity. So let's get down to it and figure some things out now. Stay tuned. Hello. Have you ever felt that you're maybe missing out on something? You know, there's a name for that. Now, we call it FOMO, the fear of missing out. And many of us operate from that principle, so we're altogether too busy. But that's not what I'm going to talk about today. Today, I want to talk to you if you are experiencing FOMO, that fear of missing out, in terms of feel like you're missing out on love, the love you deserve, the relationship you want, the life that you'd like to create, that something's holding you back, or someone has you trapped, or you're trapped in your past and you'd like to see a clearer future with more hope and more possibilities and more joy. So that's what I want to talk to you about, because this whole FOMO thing, it's a big deal for most people. Do you want your life to be one way and it consistently shows up another? That's a FOMO thing. Does there never seem to be enough time to get life together, to actually gather the pieces and spend time focusing on what it is you'd like to do next and best? Do you know what you're afraid of missing out on? Because being able to identify what those things are, what you are actually missing, to allow yourself to sit with that, and yes, it may make you sad, but to allow yourself to sit with it and identify, what am I afraid that I am missing out on? And do you know what holds you back from reaching out and grabbing it, or maybe even why it never seems within reach? So I'm going to talk first about 3 things that I think are unnecessary ways that you might be missing out. And before I do that, I'm just going to say that I have to say something about hijackals here, because this episode is not so much about any hijackal. It's about you. And if you are not quite ready to escape the hijackal trap, or you have just escaped the hijackal trap, or maybe it's a brand new idea to you to escape the hijackal trap because you didn't even know you were in it, then I just want to address that before I give you these 3 unnecessary things. Because maybe life has you a bit trapped. Maybe you had a hijackal parent, or now you have a partner, or a sibling, or an ex. So there's lots of episodes that I've created that will help you identify that and move forward through that. But this episode, this one is just for you. If you're settling for less in life, you feel like you're taking the crumbs when you want the whole cake, or you feel you're kind of stuck behind glass and there's a world out there that you're not able to get to. You're looking at life, but you don't know how to reach through the window. I want to help with that today, but I want you to know that there are lots of episodes to help you with that. So let's just look now at these 3 unnecessary ways you might be missing out beyond being in a relationship with a hijackal. Because when it comes right down to it, you have a lot of power. So one of the unnecessary ways you may be a little bit stuck is when you were growing up, you might have been in a family who didn't see or grab opportunities, didn't explore the possibilities. Maybe you come from a family that kind of colored within the lines, that stayed within certain limitations, and you learned what your family had to teach you. And now you're beginning to see, oh, there's a much bigger world out there. Or maybe, as I said earlier, you've realized you're with a hijackal and you're saying, oh, I'm not going to settle for this. So now you make your own choices and your own life. So is there a possibility that you would do well to examine the mindset that you were given in your home when you were growing up? I would say a resounding yes, because our brain grows until we're 30, and much of what gets embedded in us is something that we don't go back and examine, and it may be a limitation. It may be causing you not to expand into the possibilities of your life. So can you see that you may have been hampered by other people's limiting mindsets and beliefs, the ones they shared with you as you grew? Or maybe you had some experiences that you can heal and grow from that would be really great to leave behind. Now, I'm not a big fan of you can have it all thinking. I think that's just overpromising with a big possibility, in fact, almost a certainty of under-delivering. And oh yes, there's a whole lot of talk that goes with that about living in an unlimited universe and all, and that's true. But what's also true, and this is where we have the opportunity to regulate it in our thinking, what's also true is there are only so many hours in the day. And you've likely chosen to breathe, eat, sleep, work, and play, and those are good starts. When I give seminars and people ask about this you can have it all mentality, I tell them this: sure, you can have it all, but not all at once. Why? Because you can't do a good job of everything at once. It's not possible. So that's the first unnecessary thing that might be holding you back. And the second one is you may not be taking charge of your life. And how you do that is you open your mind to these 4 things I'm going to tell you, and then you decide on them. And it'll take you a while. You need sit with a pen and paper, or put it on a list on your phone, or get it on your laptop, or whatever works for you. But here they are. Do you know, number 1, what you value? Do you know what's most important to you? Do you know what's most important to you, so that when you look at your day and you say, yes, I lived from my values today? Because if you're with a hijackal, it's highly unlikely that you are. So know what you value. In my book, Kaizen for Couples, I give you my values shuffle exercise. You can get that book, Kaizen, Kaizen, for Couples on Amazon. And do that exercise. So know what you value. And the second thing is, what is your vision for your life? Do you know you get to decide that yourself? Don't let other people decide that for you. What is your vision for your life? How would you like to engage every day? Who would you like to be with? What would you like to see? What would you like to be doing? How would you like to earn your living? How would you like to express yourself with your children? Is your relationship an expression of who you really want to be? So what is your vision for your life? Allow yourself to play with that without limitation. And then ask yourself this third question: what do you believe about everything in life? Do you believe that you cannot have enough money? Do you believe that you don't deserve to have what other people have? Do you believe that you can have anything you set your mind to, as long as you have the skills and the body to do it? There are unreasonable things, but we're looking for reasonable things. What do you believe about life? Are possibilities available to you? Yes, of course they are. Are things sometimes difficult to do, but they're definitely worth having? What do you believe about that kind of thing? And the fourth thing is, what do you think your next best steps are? Just break it down. break it down into small, doable chunks. What would be one good next step? Yes, it's grand to have a life plan or an overall mission and all of that. I don't believe that we have that, but we do want to know what our next best steps are that take us to the life we want. So you have a lot of power in that. You have a lot of say in that. And yes, it's going to be a little bit difficult if you're living in limitation or with somebody who wants to limit you or take charge of you or control you. But in your mind, you are free, and you need to embrace that first. What's possible? What could I possibly have? How could I be doing things differently that would bring me more joy? Because if you don't take charge of those 4 things and actually spend time getting clarity about them, you'll be in a fog. You'll be in a world of confusion and chaos, and it's happening to me, make it stop, and I gotta, and be, do, more, repeat. And that is no good for your body, and it won't give you the life that you want. So that's when life just comes at you and you feel like you're playing whack-a-mole. It just feels totally out of control and overwhelming. You may even feel like a victim of time and circumstance or somebody else's. You may feel like a foot soldier in someone else's army. Someone else is calling the shots and you're supposed to do what they want. But you're not doing your life for you. You're doing it because it's there and you have to, and that's not empowering. No, I'm not suggesting you give up all of your obligations and not take care of the people in your life in the ways that are healthy. But I'm asking you to consider a rethink, a new look at your life. Because when you're clear about those 4 things, then you're large and in charge about what goes on in your head. And then, and only then, can you make positive changes in your reality. And yes, those changes may come slowly. You may need skills. You may need strategy. You may need my help to move beyond your past. Remember, you can always have that. I'm always available to you. And if you're new to working with me, I have a 1-hour session offer for only $97. We can get acquainted and solve a problem. Go to beaclient.com. Beaclient.com. So I've talked about 2 things. I've talked about the family you might have grown up in that may have limited something, and then those 4 valuable questions you need to journal and take really deep thought of. And, if you need more help with that, go to my website, transformingrelationship.com, and click on the store. I have a product in there called Emerge, 21 Steps to Empowering Emotional Savvy. It comes to you over 45 days in an email course, and that can really help you. Of course, if you become a member of my Optimized Circles, you get that course for free, but that's also available to you, so just click on Circles at Transforming Relationship. Okay, so we've got your family you grew up in may be a limitation. You may not have looked at what it is you want. You may not have even felt you deserved to have what you wanted. Maybe today is that day when the light bulb goes on and says, this is the rest of my life I'm planning. What do I really want? And number 3 that may have limited you and is quite unnecessary, you may have been swept up and entangled by the demands and expectations of other people. And that happens, of course, when we're little. We have to rely on our parents. Otherwise, we can't move or get food or anything. But after we are grown, we can actually look at it and say, I don't want to live up to the expectations of other people. I want to live up to my own. So whether you're seeing TV ads or magazines or seminar leaders who continually tell you you should be some other way than you are, don't let that stop you from looking at who do you want to be? How do you want your life to roll? And yes, a caveat again, it may be a slow process, but start engaging it deep in your mind and deep in your heart. What do I want my life to look like? Yes, the world may offer us some great things to think about, and it does. And they might be right, but don't get swept up in it. Don't think you have to. It's not a should or a must. It's a choice. Because do you really think you need to be wealthier, slimmer, more ambitious, less inhibited, more demanding, less passive, grabbing the world by the collar and shaking it senseless? Well, what if everybody did that? That would be a bit crazy. But I hope you're more discerning than that. And why do I hope that? Because although there may be excellent things to look at, to consider, to refocus, to wake up and make better choices about, and yes, we can all grow and improve and enrich our lives, but all that outside stimulation, all those people telling you what you should want and how you should be, and a good person is, all of that outside stimulation, it can make you feel small and insignificant and underachieving when really, if you think about the things I've already said, happiness might be just a few small changes away. It may be a big change. You may have to really rethink the relationship with the hijackal, but I'm here to support you to do that, and I've done lots of episodes on that. But today I want you to think about happiness may be just a few small changes, and they begin by internal changes. Don't let other people define you or your life or your relationships or your choices or tell you what should make you happy or why you should be happy with what you have. No, spend time with yourself. Get to know yourself. And answer the questions that I've asked. Because if you love the life you're living, you will live it fully. You will live joyfully, flat out. And if you want things to be different, you are the one who can change them. But please don't let anyone tell you you're not good enough, significant enough, or worthy of love right this minute. Because you are. And because you are good enough and significant and worthy of love, you start by giving that to yourself. And one of the ways you might do that is to really take to heart what I'm talking about today. Who am I and what do I really, really want? Because when you get swept up in the expectations of other people or in the groups that they create, you can miss out on the love and life you want because they're giving you their vision. You need yours. I know this sounds backwards, like the reverse of personal growth, but it's not, I assure you. I'm inviting you to examine the life you're living quietly within your own mind and heart. You don't have to tell a hijackal you're doing it. It's an invitation to examine the life you're living right now and the results you're getting, and to see if you really are landing where you most want to live. And if you are, celebrate, dance, sing, jump for joy. But if you're not, look at the 3 ways above, the ones that I've already told you, the ones that I've been talking about. See if you're unnecessarily being held back by those limitations. And if you are, and you find that they're obstructing your path, then it's time to make a plan. No, do not make a sudden huge change. Do not immediately throw out the baby and the bathwater. But take some time. Be with yourself. Look deeply into your heart. What do I want? What do I want to express in this life? How do I want to feel? What kind of people do I want to be around? How do I want them to treat me? And open your mind to the possibility that you are very creative. And once you embrace this idea, small incremental changes, that's actually the meaning of the word Kaizen in the title of my book, Kaizen for Couples. And read it anyway, even if you're not in a couple, because one day you may be, and it will give you the best foundation for every relationship in your life. Kaizen. Kaizen, small, positive, incremental changes and improvements. That's what you want to do, because wholesale life changes seldom stick. but small ones usually do. And bit by bit, you'll create the life and love you want. Again, if you need my help, go to beaclient.com, but you'll feel good, and you'll feel good about yourself, and it may be a little bit rocky. It may be difficult. You may not have been thinking about yourself very much, and then you start feeling guilty that you're thinking about yourself. Oh, there's lots of things to overcome. I don't want to make this overly simple, but I want to encourage you to embrace it, to create the life and love you want, to feel good about you, to feel that you can reach out and have this. And you'll know then that you can take the next step, and the next step, and the next step, as you consciously improve your life and your relationships. Because you know what? You are your best advocate. Allow yourself to know yourself. Allow yourself to live from your values and your vision for your life and your beliefs and purposes and next best steps. But first, to do that, you need to know them. I'm Dr. Rhoberta Shaler. I'm delighted that you're here. I hope you'll listen to lots of episodes. Be sure to subscribe so you know there are 2 episodes a week, one with a guest interview and one like this, a solo just with me. It can really help you on your journey. Everything else I mentioned today you can find at transformingrelationship.com, singular, transformingrelationship.com. Happy thinking, happy rethinking, happy opening your mind to possibilities. And I look forward to talking with you really soon. And until then, be super good to yourself because you're precious and you matter. Thank you for joining me on the Save Your Sanity podcast today. I hope you've had some new insights, some ideas and strategies to help you gain clarity and confidence for moving forward toward greater emotional health and safety. You deserve that, and so do your children. If you found value here and would like to support this podcast with $1 or $5 each month, please do so at patreon.com/saveyoursanity. Learn more about how to work with me via video conference, join my optimized circles, or subscribe to this podcast on my YouTube channel at my website, transformingrelationship.com. Talk soon.